There are two things you probably hate doing: waiting and losing. Well, if you're a woman and you're not investing, you're doing both right now. You could actually be losing about $100 a day by waiting to invest. It's like a crisp new Benjamin flying out the window every single day. Okay, here's some good news. Ellevest is an online investment platform for women where you can invest in specific life goals, such as buying a house, starting a business, or retiring your way on your terms. Ellevest gives you a free, customized financial plan based on goals you choose, shows you how much to invest every month until you reach those goals, and sets up recurring deposits to help you stay on track. All you have to do is get started. The Great Girlfriends listeners receive $100 towards your first funded goal when you sign up with Ellevest. Visit ellevest.com/girlfriends. That's ELLEVEST.com/girlfriends. Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
Welcome. Hey. Oh my gosh, when did September hit?
I don't know, but it is here, and we're halfway done.
Right? Like, I'm not ready to accept the fact that I'm really going to need a coat on soon.
I know. It's so crazy. I mean, today was amazing, though.
Oh, today was beautiful. But I didn't accomplish all my fashion outcomes. Like, I still haven't worn the things that I wanted to see worn this summer. I got two more outfits that I need to make happen before this weather changes.
Well, you better get to it fast.
I gotta get to it. Oh my gosh! If you're not if you're not in this area, then you may still be having sunny days. But for us, the New York East, the Northeast, we're starting to get that cold front, and a lot of people getting a little sniffle because the weather is just kind of sneaking up on us, and it's looking a lot like fall.
It's looking a whole lot like fall. I already have stuff like planned for November, and I'm just like, okay, November is basically the end of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're there already. How you feeling? 10-year anniversary of HFR. Hey.
I feel so amazing. I'm putting that 10-year in a beautiful box. I'm putting it up on a beautiful shelf.
Oh, my gosh. Congratulations on making 10 years.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The evening was beautiful. It was amazing. Beautiful showings from all the designers. I hope I said the word right. I don't think it's showings, but collections, reveals. What do we call them?
Mm-hmm. Collections,
okay.
Yep.
Collections, yep. Everyone's collections were beautiful. The award recipients were fantastic. The pre-dinner was amazing. The reception after was awesome. The ambiance was just so loving. It felt like family. It was almost like an Essence family reunion. Like how Essence feels like family reunion. It just felt like friends and family gathered for a birthday.
Well, let me tell you, because it was pouring raining, the people who were there were like tried and true HFR supporters. And so what you got was you literally got people who absolutely love what we do, who love the designers, who love the cause and the purpose. And so that's why it felt so amazing.
Mhm. It was
just
good
the right people there.
Even when it rained, no one moved. No one was like, "That's it, I'm out." I was like, "Oh well, little rain,
Mm-hmm.
Little rain can't stop my celebration here." Oh, we're so proud of you, baby. We proud.
Thank you. I feel fantastic. I'm quite excited and still taking it all in.
Yeah. Well, a big part of what I saw and what I love about it specifically what you've done over the course of the 10 years to continue to make HFR a fixture is the community, the corner, the advocates, the champions, the people. You know, we all feel like we have a piece of the story. And you share it so generously with everyone that's in your corner that your thank yous feel like everyone's thank yous, you know, and every moment feels like a communal moment.
I agree, because it really is. Like, there is no way in the world I could do this by myself. It has taken so much effort from so many different people. It really is a group effort. It's a village effort, and I'm super clear on that. There's no way in the world I could pull this off. Definitely not 10 years by myself. You know, it's just not possible. So I'm super clear on that, and as much as I can tell people that and remind them that they're a big part of the story, I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I promise you, every time, every milestone, it feels like, yay, it's happening. Yay, this is happening. This is, like, I feel like, oh my gosh, our baby's growing up.
Absolutely. I know. It's growing up. It's about to go off to college.
Yes, the baby's growing up. But even in that, Brandis, seeing you grow up, you know, seeing you mature along the way, seeing you own the moment, so with so much confidence and grace and generosity. It takes a grown woman to share a success. You know, it takes someone who really understands that she is not standing on her own 2 feet to be able to stand before people and fully say, thank you, and everyone know you mean it sincerely. You know, it's not a moment you don't cry. It cracks me up because I'm like, I can see the tears pop about an hour before they come, and now I'm like, I'm on tear patrol. Here she go. She about to mess that makeup up.
What's funny is I literally walked into the venue crying because this 10th year it literally meant more than I could ever explain to anyone. Like, I just was replaying year after year and seeing God's blessing after God's blessing. And this year in particular, it's literally like the windows of heaven have just opened in so many different ways. And things that I've wanted for so long, it's now coming with ease, but not really, right? Because it's taken 10 years of pushing the door. But I just walked through the door with tears because I was just so grateful. Like, so super grateful. So I'm shocked that I even had on makeup when you saw me, because I literally walked through the door in tears.
We need to jot the brands down of every single piece of eyeliner, eyeshadow, lip.
You said that
foundation.
before, you know.
You need to be on the team. I'm telling you, because they should test every single waterproof eye mascara by you. If it can make it through a Brandis Daniel tier, it works.
It works. It works. This is an authentic tier.
It's an authentic tier. You're not up there faking it. It's not an Oscar moment. It's legit, like, church tier.
Girl, I wouldn't know how to do that if I tried my best. I wouldn't have a clue.
Funny. Kwasu's like, how much did she cry? I said she didn't cry a whole lot, but when she did cry, it was a significant cry. He was like, every year she gonna cry. I said she gonna cry every year. That's just a signature piece to the moment. But it's so significant and sincere. It's not Great Girlfriends, if you're there, you understand it's not something that she's crafting for the moment. This is what she feels so sincerely in her heart. It's gratitude. But it's so funny because those of us that know Brandis well can almost sense when it's about to happen. It's like, all right, what moment's going to bring it on? But when she reflects, when she thinks back over the goodness of God and all he has done for her, here it goes. It's like, all right, showtime. There go those tears. And it just becomes,
I did not expect. It actually happened this year at a moment that I didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect for the tears. I didn't at all. I actually even surprised Dee, my niece. She was like, I didn't expect you to cry right there. I said, me either. I said, me either.
Right. I think Spike was looking like, wow, yeah, Spike, this is like, it's not your average ceremony. Like, this is real.
Yeah.
You don't typically get this, but this is real.
I'm like, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, this is my 10th year and I'm about to give Spike Lee an award. And like, I could think of so many of his movies and like how he continues to just like kill it and set the bar on so many levels. And it just like hit me. I'm sitting here looking at Spike Lee, look at me. Like, this is like crazy. And we've given other awards before, but I feel like before it felt like the people were so far from me, but Spike was literally like right there. And so before it felt like it was very different. That moment was quite different. It felt a lot more intimate.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Aw. Well, girlfriends, I hope that you had a chance to see the show on Instagram or on Facebook. I think the feed was on Instagram, right, Brandis?
It was on our Instagram.
Was it live? Okay.
Yeah, it was live.
And follow the hashtag. What was the hashtag for this year, Brandis?
HFR turns 10.
HFR turns 10. You can go and look at some of the highlights from the show. But we were talking about what we needed to record on tonight. And the significant part for me that I was telling Brandis I thought was so awesome that so many people, girlfriends, you specifically, need to take away from HFR is, that village. How do you have or build or cultivate a strong corner that will go 10 years with you through thick and thin with joy? Gladly go through the years with you. And how do you create these alliances that just give you the strength to stand on when you need to make 10 years or beyond? How do you do that authentically that makes sense for your life, that makes sense for what you're building, what you're cultivating, and that rewards you and everyone else that's a part of it? Because I think that's a significant piece to what makes HFR feel like such a family affair. And, even as we have built out the Great Girlfriends, the village has been such a huge piece of that. We only use word of mouth to bring everything to light, and we ask our girlfriends, if you love it, be generous and share it with another girlfriend. And as sure as we ask that, we've just had great girlfriends just open their doors of their network and their community and just make phone calls. And I mean, the calls they make, my God, we're just blown by some of the doors that have been open for us that we didn't ask for, but that our village opened with joy. And so we want you to grab your pen and paper.
Get your
pen and paper. But we want to lay out for you how to build a strong corner. And I think about a boxer in every fight when he's going through those rounds. And, sometimes it looks easy and sometimes it looks tough, but whatever, no matter what it looks like, he's got to go back to his corner. He's got to get refreshed. He's got to get greased up. They got to lace up his boxing gloves, and he's got to get back out there, and he's got to go conquer, and he's got to take that round. And so his corner is so significant. What happens in that corner during a boxing match, if we could only understand, and I recall Mike Tyson talking about his coach one time, who he had been with since he was a youth, like a teenager, and how, so many fights that he thought he wasn't going to win, and he would go to his corner, and I forget his coach's name, I have to look it up, but his coach would send him back out for the win. He's like, I'm not sending you back out to fight, I'm sending you back out to win. And I think a strong corner knows how to pep you up for the win,
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're not just sending you out there to go see what you can do. They're sending you out there to show up and show and prove. And that's a big piece of what I think gives me joy and delight every day. I feel like my great girlfriends or my corner, they're just so powerful in that I feel so good about me and my. You can't tell me I can't change the world, and that's because my corner helps me to believe that that's within me, and they won't settle for less than that from me. And then they give me the resources that they have to make that happen.
Absolutely, it's such a big piece of every win in life, like professionally, but also personally. Like that corner is going to be needed on so many, like my corner is used for every piece of my life, every component of my life. It's just so absolutely necessary. And adds so much to my experience. I mean, I even think I have so many friends who have moved from New York to other cities, and the thing that, and then they move back to New York. So, and the reason they always end up moving back to New York is they're like, but my corner is in New York, you know, and it's more expensive. It's less expensive everywhere else. Everyone knows that it's so much easier to live in other cities. But when you have found a corner who is going to like really be behind you, that's very difficult to duplicate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's something about sacrifice in friendships or sacrifices in your community, people that are willing to give up things on your behalf that kind of makes a relationship strong. It kind of shows how much of an allegiance people really have to you. And so, in New York specifically, now we don't know about many other corners. We only know what we can share. But in other cities, if you share this, then you know this is true. But there's nothing like having to in New York, being a fully grown woman and having a roommate. Now, most of us in other parts of the country have their own, apartments, own homes, whatever be the case. But so many, full adults in New York share apartments and share space as adults and grown women. But having to go through that or having to invest in a friend's business to get it off the ground because you might be 2 steps ahead in your career because in New York, that's what it calls for. But there's nothing like having that seeing a friend sacrifice or lend a little extra so that you can get ahead or a little more leverage to know that the friendship is real, it's not easy. That part is not easy. But it's sort of, it is the icing on the cake because the cake is you, right? Brandis is Brandis, Sybil is Sybil, great girlfriends, you're great girlfriends, and you are amazing wherever you are, right like you are, without any extra sacrifice or change. There's a corner waiting on you. But then the icing on the cake is having people who can see that, acknowledge it, embrace it, love it, grow it, nurture it, cultivate it, share it with other people. That's the icing on the cake.
Absolutely. It really is. And so if I can think about, I think if we even thought about like 3 things that stop people from building a corner, because I do think that we both know women who say, I don't have a corner. Like when I look, I got people, but I don't really have a corner, And if I can think about one of the things that stops some of the women that I know is a lack of vulnerability. I think that the one thing you have to have in order to build a corner is you have to be vulnerable and you have to be honest and real and authentic and say what you mean and be okay looking a little bit weak or not as strong as people think you might be or not as together as you think you might be, because all of those things are the things that allow real relationships to happen.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think that's a perfect number one. And I think if I had to add a number 2, I would say not being generous, withholding yourself. Withholding what you think people can take from you, not being afraid of what will happen if you give too much, being afraid of being taken advantage of. So you withholding, never giving enough, and always expecting a lot. You want everybody to give to you, but you don't want to give. Like you said, can I get one secret? Can I learn one thing about you that you don't want people to know? Because that'll give me a chance to nurture you. If I know, some of your vulnerable parts, it gives me a chance. That's an opportunity for me. But if you're afraid of people taking advantage of you all the time, then you'll never, ever be able to get the advantage or give it. So, that would be my number 2.
Absolutely. And I'd say number 3 is just being open. I think sometimes, I moved to New York I had probably, I'm going to say like 6 solid great girlfriends who are still my best friends to this day. And nothing will ever take that away because we have a special bond. But when I first moved to New York, one of the things that I said was, I don't really need any new girlfriends, but I wasn't close to the idea, but I did say it. And then I end up meeting all of these amazing women from FAMU. And so that opened me up to a whole new world. And then just meeting them made me say, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to say that again, because I realized that, like, I am actually, my light is on. Like, the open sign is on the door now. Like, I'm open for new friendships, because that taught me that even I thought at 28, I couldn't really meet any new friends, but that taught me that at any age, you know, if you're open, then real authentic friendships can still come into your life. And then I just got all of this amazing New York family. And then I met Kristen, and then I met Sybil, and then, you know, and I've met other great girlfriends since then. And so now I am totally open to the idea that a brand new friendship can happen even now at 40 years old with a child, with an amazing great girlfriend corner. I'm still open for new friendships. And I think that that's something that we sometimes do as women. We block ourselves off from really great relationships. We just kind of shut down at a certain point and say, I'm at capacity for really great relationships. But I'm not saying you go out there and you try to force anything, but when you see a friendship naturally developing, like, go with it and see where it goes.
Yeah.
So,
that's
just
so
be
good.
open.
So good, so valuable. I think those are all important, and I think it's important for each one of us to take a second and assess and be 100 about where you sit with all of those, whether or not you have challenges with any of those three areas, because those are significant parts to building your corner. Because what happens is the corner builds on the corner, builds on the corner, builds on the corner, right? And like you said, you meet one, you meet the next, and as everyone progresses in their life and in their careers and in their relationships, you continue to be better and more to each other. Next thing you know, you're flying together. Next thing you know, you're building businesses together. Next thing you know, you're in circles or rooms that you would have never encountered before, all because the corner, it's a growth corner. It's not a stagnant corner. We talked about this some episodes back about making sure that your corner is not stagnant. But I think it's so important, and that's not just for entrepreneurs. That's for every single person in this life who expects to live and thrive in it. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. So it's like, all right, is my corner growing or is my corner dying? And what is the evidence of growth in my corner? Has my quality of life improved as a result of the people that I'm surrounded by? And that's personally or professionally. I'm a huge advocate for breaking professional boundaries, because I know that at the end of every professional day, everyone gets personal. So ultimately, relationships that we build with people, we can build them in professional settings, but they have for me, they're going to always have a personal tone, because there's a human behind that title. And I want to know the human behind that title who has kids like me, who struggled, to have confidence like me, who, is nervous when she pitches or has to close a deal like me. I want to know that woman, and I want us to share, to be able to share successes and setbacks, on that level, so that I can grow professionally. But I don't ever want to create boundaries that keep me from getting to know a woman at her core. And so if we stop and do a check on those three that we noted, I think those are helpful to know, all right, let me see. If I look at these three, maybe my corner's not where I want it to be. Now, here are some ways that you're going to build out a new corner, or not even build out a new corner, but ripen the corner a bit. Because sometimes you just need to get your people in the game,
Absolutely.
Sometimes we're so busy being strong that we don't ask for anything for people, so they don't know we need anything,
That's so true, Sybil. That is so true.
They don't know how to help us out. All they know is that we look good, we seem like we good, everything good,
looks good, yeah. Everything looks good, absolutely.
So, all right. So when we talk about building that strong corner, Brandis, that all-star team, what do you think is like the number one component to building? What is it that's going to make your corner absolutely strong?
Okay. I'm going to say number one, and it's going to be something very unexpected that nobody's going to expect me to say. But I think number one is you have to have people in your corner that have their arms open to new people, right?
Mhm.
Because it's so hard to deal when when you're managing people's issues with the other person, right?
Oh my gosh.
In
Yeah.
my life, I could move to New York and make new friends because my girlfriends at home are the least territorial people of them all. They're like, go girl, do your thing. And I don't have to manage them. They are secure in our friendship. I don't have to explain anything to them. I can go out of town with not my new friends, and my friends at home ain't thinking nothing about it. And so that's the kind of relationship we have. Now, my new friends, all my FAMU girls, I've met new friends since then. And so if you got a corner where people are making you feel bad or guilty for having new friends or weird about it, it's so hard to build on that corner. So you have got to have a corner. And the only way that people are able to be okay with open arms and inviting new people to the corner is if they're super secure in themselves. So if you've got a very insecure corner, it's going to be hard for you to build out new friendships or build that corner because you're going to be managing, oh, my God, this person is making me feel guilty about hanging out with this person, or they don't really get along, but I got to invite both of them. Like, all that stuff is ridiculous. So that is number one. Make sure that you have a corner of secure women who are fine with you crowding that corner to capacity if it's going to build you. Because at the end of the day, people have to be Team Brandis. If you're my friend, you've got to be Team Brandis, and I'm going to be Team you.
Yeah.
But so whatever that takes. So if Sybil gets 25 new friends, as long as they're Team Sybil, I'm super happy for Sybil. So it's like that's my number one, because I feel like too many women are managing other women's expectations, like their husbands or jealous boyfriends. And so it makes it hard for them to build a corner because they're like, if I go over here, these people are going to feel some kind of way, and it's crazy.
Right.
That's my number one.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I would say number two to Brandis' number one, which I agree with that, but people need to know you. I know so many people that have people in their lives that know them for something but don't actually know them.
That's so true.
They don't know them. They just know them for what they've learned about them, from, because like you said, we move markets sometimes and we start fresh, but bring your whole self to the market. I think it's so important that people in my life know I am such a goofball. I love to laugh. I love to have fun, but I also have the serious side, and I have all these different sides, and I don't feel the need to explain myself. I just look for people to enjoy me and correct me when I need it, and love on me and want to be around me. And indicators of that is that they know me and they're not judging me and they're not putting me down. They're enjoying me. But people have to be able to know you. And so many times we want to give people one side of us, the safe side, like you said, not being vulnerable. And consequence to that is that people don't get to know you. Therefore, they really don't understand how to be in your corner because they don't know what's good for you. I spend time paying attention to my friends and what they like and what they don't like. And when I know I need some bonus cookies with my friends, I know exactly what to do because I know them and I want to know them, and I don't want them to feel like they can't be their whole self around me. I want every moment that the friendship has to offer. So and likewise, I think my friends are the same way. They don't ask me to change. They just want more of this. So I'm like, well, let me give you more, because you love me like I am. They're here for the party. So I'm like, let's do it. And then I have, for example, Kristen. I have FOMO, and I give it to Kristen because Lily is all over the internet, and Lily is her new baby. And I'm just like, Lily is growing up without me. And Kristen won't allow me with my FOMO to impose that on her as a mom. She's like, Sybil, now I have, like, Lily has her own life and I have to deal with that. But that's just an example of how she's training me, and I'm cool with it. But she knows me, she loves me, she understands it, and I understand it. I'm like, all right, Chris, bet. People have to know you. They got to know you.
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like we've covered so much. I think I would say the other thing is, I think the other thing to building a really great corner is, okay, here's another one that's about to come from left field, Sybil, is go to therapy. Because I know they don't seem to connect, but they do. So let me connect the dots for you.
Okay, connect them.
Because a lot of times the reason people don't have good corners is because they don't trust people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most of the people I know, most of the women I know who say, I don't really have corners, I don't really have friends like that, I don't really have people who will ride for me. Most of the people who I know that say that are people who are not trusting of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that derives from somewhere. It comes from somewhere. And so if you're not trusting other women, if there is an issue, if there's a trust issue there, there's something else behind that.
Right.
And so, you don't have to go to therapy, but you got to do something to get all this stuff out, to figure out what is it that's stopping you. If you look around and you can't think of at least 2 women that you could call literally at 12:30, like at a.m., and say, hey, look, something's happened, I need to talk, and they won't pick up the phone for you, that's not normal. Yeah. So you have to be able to say, if you don't have that type of a corner, if you don't have a corner that you can say, girl, this event, like I need help here, here, and here. This was one year where I didn't have to call Sybil to go do something last minute for me. But so many times, Sybil will call me before an event and say, Brandis, what do you need? And I will usually tell her exactly what I need, and she will go and figure it out. And so I have friends who want to know, Brandis, what do you need? What do I need to bring? What are you missing? How can I help? If you don't have that, normally it's because there is some kind of a trust issue. And so get to the bottom of it so that you can move on with your life.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
Whatever it is. So that's the goal. So go to therapy.
Everyone's booking their appointments right now. They're trying to find their local therapist. But no, what she's saying, which I agree with wholeheartedly, is to do the work. Do the work. Don't wait on other people to work on you. Do the work. Do the work. Locate those issues. Those things that are issues for you will definitely be issues for other people. So if you got a problem with your insecurity, you best believe your friends are like, oh my gosh, she's so insecure. Do the work and locate a professional. If you are unable to get the keys together, have someone that can help be an advocate for you and spend that time. It's so important. I agree with that.
Sybil, if you guys don't know who to go to, you email us, thegreatgirlfriends@gmail.com.
We got somebody for you.
I'm going to give you a suggestion. She takes phone calls, and I don't get paid anything from this. But at the end of the day, again, I'm telling my own stuff. I went to therapy every single week for a year. I forgot what year it was I did this. But it was so extremely helpful for me on so many levels. And so you just want to flush all that stuff out so that you can move forward in a really clear way.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm done. With my soapbox on that.
Something else I would say is, I say this and I believe this with all my heart, with frequency, to everyone. You have to be a connector. I don't wait for people to be a connector in my life and expect to get connections and don't give them. I'm a connector, the dog walker, to the sitter, to the teacher, to the author, to anyone that's in my phone book runs the risk of being connected by me. Just a warning. So, but I'm always looking to put people who are like-missioned together for the greater good. And I think that has made room for me to be aligned. Sometimes people say, have you met so-and-so? Why, no, I haven't met this, amazing author that I know of, or woman that's a fantastic stylist, or, businesswoman or CEO that I've heard of, but I've never met her. You need to know her. Well, absolutely, I need to know her, and you need to know my nanny. I heard you had a sitter issue. Let me connect you to who I have.
You just said a word. You just said a word, because most of the people who have amazing corners, they are connectors. They're always trying to connect. They're not trying to hog resources to themselves. They are trying to figure out, how do I connect you with you? And okay, you say you do this. Oh my God, you know what? I have a friend who does this. Let me connect y'all. They are constantly trying to connect people.
Absolutely.
And whatever
it's a big piece.
Yes, and you reap what you sow.
Yep, and that web expands geographical territories. It goes across age, it goes across income, it goes across status. You never know who in your connection circle will be the next one to advocate for you to be connected to someone. You never know who's going to graduate in their levels. You never know who the next female founder is. You never know who the next radio host is or who the next superstar. You don't know whose world is about to shift. But all you know is that you continue to connect any and everyone in your circle to a resource or a person or whatever it is that they need to be better or to move forward. And I guarantee you get it back, because people say to you, well, how can I connect you? And I think
absolutely.
When it came to the Great Girlfriends, and, a lot of people would ask us how we built the audience. We didn't really build the audience. The Great Girlfriends built the audience. We just offered the product. And what was so valuable was that Brandis and I so significantly worked to connect people with just off of good people need to know good people. And that is something that we experience when we need it in return.
Absolutely.
It just comes back to us.
1,000%.
So, yeah, be a connector. Be the one. I want to be the first one in the room to introduce people that I know that should know each other. And I can already find a way that you need to know this person and why this person would be beneficial to your world. And you guys will.
Absolutely.
You may locate different ways, but I already in mind know that there's some commonality, even if it's just you both love coffee. That's enough sometimes to open the door to other visions and dreams and things that you need to share or you do share, in common with someone. But everyone has something in common, and a great woman, a woman who is really rides for her corner, will find the connection and build the connection, and make sure that you're always considering other people. Just always.
Absolutely.
Always. Yeah.
I got a feeling that this is going to be one of those episodes. Great Girlfriends, don't be shady. I can feel like this is going to be one of those episodes. People are going to be sliding in people's inbox like, girl, listen to this.
Right. This is one of those we about to get a bunch of email episodes. But we want to know, seriously, if you benefit, one of our most recent, I don't have the review in front of me, but it touched my heart that this girl got a job off of an episode that we did on Living Your Legacy, and she said that she had taken the tools, she understood herself more clearly, right? And she went and she interviewed and she got the position, and she attributed it to the work that she did after she listened to the podcast. We need to know that
amazing.
Stuff.
Yes,
we need
please.
to know that.
Please let us know.
Yeah,
if y'all are around here getting married off the Great Girlfriends, y'all gotta let us know.
Please. I know. We need to know. We got to know, y'all. We'd like to know. So just share with us. Email us, thegreatgirlfriends@gmail. Drop that review on iTunes, because that matters to the next woman who's not heard of the podcast and is like, should I listen? She's going to check your reviews, and she's going to go, oh, okay, it's good. I need to listen. So, yeah.
And so Sybil, we need to give them one charge. Great Girlfriends, we would like to double our numbers on this episode. So if you could, we're going to ask you guys to all intentionally share this with 5 people, as well as on your Facebook. So if you guys can just send this out to 5 people who may not have listened, I'm going to do it as well. So 5 people who may not have listened, who may not have heard about the Great Girlfriend, just send them a link to this episode and ask them to listen. We'll know based on the numbers, and we'll let you guys know how you did. But please introduce 5 new friends to the podcast.
I love it. Is that your digital track, Brandis? That's your audio track?
That is my digital track. Sybil and I are trying to make things happen, and we need to up our numbers.
Yes, so we want more and more and more listeners around the world, and we'll tell you as we close. So you want to close? We want to thank our booze. Thank you so much, Kwaku. He is just a man. He is everything and then some, y'all. Oh my goodness, so grateful.
I love it. I want to thank my husband, Rich Daniel, who has just been so super supportive and so amazing. So thank you so much, babe.
Yeah,
and look, and I felt like I had to go to all my family, girl. Woo. My family been dealing with me. But go ahead.
So good.
These kids, yeah.
Thank you, Dylan and Sam. Thank you so much.
Yes, and to Miss Sky, thank you. And it has really taken a village. This last event was so much. So between Rich and my in-laws and my sister-in-law and my parents who came into town to help, like it's taken a village. So I'm just so grateful for my corner.
Yay! And thank you, Great Girlfriends, for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter. Be sure you listen every single Wednesday. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on Stitcher, Podcast Republic, Podcast Bean, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Yay. I mean, come on. You can listen wherever you are. And if we're not there, hit us up. We want to be there. So let us know. But make sure you're listening every week. Be sure to check us out on social. We're on Instagram.
The Great Girlfriends.
On Twitter.
_GreatGFS.
And we're on Facebook.
The Great Girlfriends.
Yes, and make sure you check out our Facebook group, over 16,000 strong, The Great Girlfriends. Make sure you post your questions online. You share with your friends. Keep listening.
Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend.
A great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandis.
And we're signing off. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.